I call myself the Freelance Contemplative, and I think it's about time I explain what a freelance contemplative actually is. It's a term that I made up. A contemplative, generally speaking, is a man or woman who dedicates him or herself to a life of a life of contemplation, and contemplation isn't a term that's very easily understood in our current society, because sometimes contemplation is viewed as just kind of a waste, not being productive. I don't feel exactly that I can adequately describe what real contemplation is, but it has something to do with a life of seeking the Lord in a way in which I guess you have more open time for Him, to follow where His Spirit leads, I guess. One of the people I think of is Saint Francis of Assisi, who at a young age, he grew up in a wealthy background. His father was a merchant, and Saint Francis of Assisi reached a point where he abandoned that lifestyle for the sake of living kind of as a wanderer in poverty. He just kind of, in a way, he went with the flow. He kind of a modern way to put it, he lived a way where he just tried to do what was right. A Christian way to put it would be he tried to follow the Spirit of the Lord, in a very free way. Like he kind of wandered about. He lived off of the generosity of other people. All of his food and stuff was stuff he had to ask for. He was basically a beggar. So that's one of the many examples of what a life of contemplation looks like. So I call myself the freelance contemplative. One, because freelance is a word that has to do with kind of being a lay person, a part of the world. Because I'm not a religious, in the sense of I'm not a brother or a sister who has been consecrated into living a life of poverty officially with the church. I'm kind of just living a life of contemplation in the spirit of Saint Francis of Assisi with where I'm at right now. And to remain as a lay person and to reach to the world as a lay person rather than as a religious. So yeah, I felt like it was sort of necessary to explain what I mean by the freelance contemplative. It may be a good question, how am I able to financially support myself? I have a support system right now that isn't really exactly appropriate or to share publicly, but basically as soon as my support system is unable to support me, I will I will probably just live a life of poverty, I guess. I'm not sure what a life of poverty would look like in my situation. Does that mean I would go to the streets? Does that mean I would... I don't know. I know God's going to provide for me in whatever way He wants to provide for me. But I felt like describing my life as a freelance contemplative might be inspiring for some people. Because one of my convictions is I don't want to live a life where I'm kind of enslaved by employment, which sometimes happens to some people. They're living a life that they don't really enjoy. It's kind of washed out. It's not very joyful, or doesn't really give them energy, type of thing. I don't feel called to that kind of life of employment, if you will. I think I'm being called to a life of freedom, a life of St. Francis of Assisi kind of wandering, I guess. I assume someday I will be able to find a way to be financed in a different way than I currently am. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, I just wanted to share that because I thought it might be helpful for some of you to just hear what I'm doing. So, God bless.